Hi guys, how's it going? What's jumping off? Hope you guys are all enjoying the springing. So I thought I would just do a quick little recap of my finished pages for April. In case you're noticing anything different, I got my nails done. My son has a friend, and she's now my friend, that she's learning. She's going to school. She's going to nail school. And so she needs victims to practice on. And I used to just kind of play around with doing my own nails years ago. And so I had some, I still had some like glitter acrylic left from those days, and I've saved it for a long time thinking that I would use it for crafting. You know, anyway, I haven't had my nails done for probably 8-10 years. Anyway, so I let her do my nails, and we used that glitter acrylic. And so we sort of did like almost a rainbow. We're missing blue, but we did this like teal turquoise color. But yeah, I thought they turned out pretty cute. The yellow on this hand kind of got a little thin. There was sort of like a bald spot. So I said, well, let's use some, I had some glass glitter in a little, where is it? I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, so we just put a bunch of glitter on it and then did a top coat. So anywho, so over the next, who knows, weeks, months, you may see some crazy stuff on my nails. Anyway, so let's get started. So I've marked a bunch of pages in some of my books. This one I did, the other one, I have some other books where I've marked pages, but these are not the ones that I've colored. These are ones that I'd like to do in the future. And I generally don't like to use these little tabs because if I ever want to use pan pastel on backgrounds, it does leave a little bit of residue there. And also, if you're doing watercolor, if you're going to leave these little tabs on your pages for more than a day or so, it will create a resist. So yeah, I'm just saying, you might notice that if you are one who likes to go through your coloring books and mark pages with these little tabs. It can cause some issues. With the pan pastel, what it'll do is it'll just grab a bunch of the pastel, and you'll see a mark there, like a little square or a circle or whatever. Anyway, so I did a couple pages in this book. So I did this one mostly with acrylic markers, and then I think I had just gotten the Languo Plus gel pens, so I was playing around with those quite a bit. These bigger ones, and I've seen some videos about these that kind of were, I don't know, not exactly positive. So these are the, I'm going to try to get to the point quickly, but these are, yeah, so this is the one that is like considered the acrylic, or the calligraphy, I mean, gel pen from Languo. And a lot of people bought these in those sets. There's sets of 6, and there was like 2 sets of 6, and they were the plus ones in kind of like, I don't know, sort of like muted colors. And then Languo came out with a bunch more sets of plus, what they're calling painting gel pens, and people don't like them because when you work with them, you have to apply pressure to the roller ball to allow the ink to actually flow. And I could be wrong on this, but I believe that these are actually acrylic paint. I think they're actually paint pens. But, and they are not waterproof either, like the calligraphy ones. Anyway, but, you know, honestly, I think they're kind of getting a bad rap because I've noticed that the more I use these, the less pressure I have to apply on that roller ball. So I'm just saying, if you have these and you have decided you don't like them or whatever, maybe give them another shot because, like I said, with use, they become a lot smoother and you don't have to apply that pressure. So, I mean, you do a little bit, but it's not that bad. Like, it's nothing major. And holding it vertical also is not super great on these plus ones. You kind of want to hold it at a little bit of an angle to just get that little tiny bit of pressure off of the roller ball, and then the ink kind of flows out around the side of the roller ball. So I'm just saying, play around with yours if you have them and you've decided you don't like them, because as you use them, they do get a little bit easier. Something, maybe it's just the pressure or something in that roller ball. Anyway, so I've been really enjoying them and I like using them. So I just did kind of a, I don't know, what do you call it, a Zen doodle, kind of just did some patterns in the, you know, the feathers of the rooster. So this is a cool little book. I don't like all the pages in it, but I do like a few of them. I got this book from Book Outlet. Anyway, and then I did this little crazy chicken, all in reds. This one I think I did with Neocolor 2s, gel pens. I think a lot of this color was some watercolor pencil, but yeah, I thought she turned out pretty fun. So, okay. Oh, I did these little dots. I don't know if you can see them. These kind of random little circles around in the background with some of those, some of these 3D jelly pens, also from Temu, before Temu started down the road of, you know, import fees. Okay, and then Fairy Tales and Folklore. I only did one page in here. I was playing with my Kuretake graphite colors, and also the what are they called? Boku Undo, or these Boku Undo sort of like graphite colors. So these are the Kuretake at the top, and then these are, can't remember the brand name, but they're very similar. But the second set here, the ones here on the bottom, are a lot more richly pigmented, and the colors are slightly different. So if you have both sets of those, the graphite colors and then that other brand, I can't remember, it's a Japanese brand, they're not exactly the same. They do have some variation, so just saying. Anyway, so that's what I use on this page, and then went back in with a whole bunch of different metallic and, you know, sparkly watercolors, and I added some more stars in the background, and yeah, I thought she turned out really pretty. So I'm going to take off that little sticker now, but yeah, I thought she was really pretty. And, you know, just by varying the amount of water in the paint, you can get, you know, a lot of different tones and shades, right? Because, like, her dress and the bust of her dress, and also her sleeves and the cuffs, are all done with the same color, just varying the amount of water in the wash. So you can see there's a light, and then like a medium, and then like a real dark shade. So yeah, so that was really fun to do. I might do some more pages with those. That was pretty fun. I just got all 6 sets of the distress watercolor pencils that I've been playing around with. So I was thinking I might do some kind of like swatching video and show you guys, like, swatch out each set separately in case anybody's curious what those sets all look like individually. And then I haven't actually done anything in this copy of Rooms of Wonder because I have another copy of it that I disassembled and I have it in a binder. But I wanted to do this wallpaper page, and I would say it definitely was inspired by Karen, My Colorful Country Life. She did this page, and I thought, I think I want to do that. And also, Ink and Hue, she does, I think she does this page too. I can't remember. But she does like to do wallpaper pages with gel pens. And so I kind of used both, mostly Neocolor 2s. I've been really into using my Neocolors and my Lyras lately. So yeah, so these are, the backgrounds are all done with Neocolor 2s. And I'm pretty sure that's what I used on most of the flowers too. And then went back and did details with some of those 3D jelly pens and some glaze pens. Other, oh, I did use the Languo, the fine tip gel pens on a lot of the outlines. Another tip I wanted to kind of mention, I know that a lot of people are looking at these and maybe not super happy with the amount of flow that you get from the tips. So they're a 0.6 millimeter gel pen, so they don't, they don't put out a lot of ink at one time. So if you want to use them, because it's nice that they have such an array of colors. If you have all the sets that they put out, you probably got 160 or so different colors, and they are really nice opaque ink, which again, I think they're also acrylic, but I can be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, so I've seen where some people like to take this little end off and then push in some like blue tack or something like that to help improve the ink flow out of the nib. So I kind of was playing around with that, and I thought, God, that's really a hassle to have to take that cap off of the end. And so I was just thinking about, why does that work? Because I did it and it did work. I had to push the blue tack, pretty well into that end. So I think what it's doing is it's creating a little bit of pressure on this excess gel that's in the pen. When you push the blue tack into the end of the pen. So if you look at the end of your pens, they're actually open, even without taking that tip off of the back. They're actually open. So there's like a hole in the center, and then around the outside, you've got, little slots that are also open. So to regulate the ink flow, I believe these need to be open at the end to keep it in a fine line. So what I kind of was playing around with was just using a kneaded eraser, and I just pulled off a little ball of my kneaded eraser. Let me just show you this really quick because it's kind of cool. So if you just scribble with this pen, you get a pretty even. You have to go relatively slow to get a solid, nice, opaque line. So, but that's a pretty thin line. So if you're trying to color in a shape, like it takes a while, Anyway, so I just took that kneaded eraser and push it make sure that it covers the whole end of the pen, and then take my thumb and just push it down. So you have just like this glob on the end of the pen, and then that creates that pressure, and you get a heavier flow of ink, and you're able to color in areas much, much quicker. See? And then I notice when it starts to slow down, where it's not putting out as much ink, I just kind of take it and gather up a little bit more of it and give it another push. And I think what that does is it just creates more pressure inside the pen. Anyway, and then to take it off, it does kind of push down inside the pen. So what I do is I just grab a hold of my little bit of eraser and I just pull it real quick, and it pulls all the way out of the pen. And this way I don't have to keep taking the ends of my pens off, and I can just keep a little kneaded eraser nearby whenever I'm using these and want to color in, you know, larger spaces. So I just want to show that to you guys because I know that a lot of us have those, and sometimes it's frustrating to use them because they don't put out a lot of ink, and we all really like the 1mm nib. So that kind of turns those into like a 1mm nib almost. Anyway, so yeah, I thought this one turned out really pretty. Proud of it. I like it. I'm going to keep it, and I might actually do some more wallpaper pages. I don't generally do them ever, but I thought this one was really pretty. So there we go. And then in Drummond Vanger, I did a couple of pages. Actually, I did 2 double-page spreads in this book. I hope I'm in frame okay. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so that's what it is. Generally, I start these pages pretty much, I don't know, I don't want to say all of my pages, but most of my pages. I will start with either watercolor, background, or Neocolor 2, or watercolor pencil, something like that. Some kind of water-based media, sometimes gouache, or watered down acrylic paint. So in this, I did Neocolor 2s, and I actually drew in this row of shrubs that goes behind, and then there's another little row down here, and I just wanted to add some interest to the page by doing that. So you can see the darker green kind of goes along here, and I could have just shaded them together, but I wanted there to be that sort of delineated, like, you know, space or line. Anyway, yeah, and so I basically colored the whole thing with Neocolor 2s, and then came back in and just did my shading with pencils, add details with gel pens. So, and I do spray these with fixative too. And one thing I like about using fixative on pages, especially when I've used gel pen, is that it kind of gives them a little bit of a gloss. Even if they're not glossy or glaze or 3D jelly or anything like that, even just regular gel pens or acrylic paint, it can give it a little bit of a gloss, and I just think that's kind of pretty. So anyway, so that one, and then I did this page too. So same thing. Neocolor 2s, pencils, some watercolor. I know I did use some watercolor on this. And yeah, a little bit of metallic watercolor too, I think. I did actually use some Sparkle Pop pens on this flag. And I think I used some also on these flowers. So, okay, so that's my second one in Drummond Vanger for April. And then I have this book, Country Life coloring book. This again came from Book Outlet, and I liked it. I like the cover because it's very like folk art, you know, and I'm just attracted to that kind of imagery. But instead of coloring in this book, I've decided I'm gonna print these off on craft paper when I want to color them, or on some other kind of, I did print some onto a mixed media paper also. But anyway, so I did this little pig and her babies. And this one I actually painted with Kuretake with Gansai watercolors. I have a bunch of different brands, so I have them all kind of mixed together, but you know what I'm talking about, the Gansai watercolors. And you can see there's a little bit of a gloss to the paint if you apply it thickly, and that's because of the binder that's in that paint. It's actually animal glue. It's an animal product, the binder that they use. So if you're vegan, I would steer clear of Gansai watercolors. But anyway, so yeah, so I did her in the Gansai watercolor. I think I did the little piglets too. I really struggled with the mom because I wasn't getting her to pop off the background. I think the tone of the body of her body is too close to the craft paper color. So, and I didn't want to color the background because I wanted the craft paper background. But anyway, I think she turned out okay. I sort of like the neon purple outline that I wound up doing on her. And then just the little paisleys, and had fun doing the sunflowers. Used the Languo gel pens, the 1/2 millimeter ones. And it's really nice that you can get that like thin line weight, and then you can also increase the line weight by, you know, doing that little trick. So I think those pens are great, and I'm really glad that I actually bought 2 packages of each set. So now I have a backup set, because I'll tell you, I'm not paying any import fees to Temu. But yeah, so I thought she turned out really cute. And then I have this other book it's this one, the Frog Village book. And I did the same thing. I printed a page, and I did this one for Easter. And this one is done all with colored pencil and acrylic markers. Yeah, I think it's all acrylic markers and pencil. I did use a blender on the pencil. What did I use? Yeah, I used the Holbein Melts pencil or pen. I like it because it has that hard nib, and yeah, and these are refillable. You can buy bottles of the Melts stuff. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but you know, there's all kinds of different things you can use for blending watercolors, but or for blending pencils. But I watched a video Lindsay, Frugal Crafter Lindsay, did where she was making some cold wax medium, and she mentioned using it to blend pencils. And so I tried it, and I was like, that is really cool. Like, it works really, really well. So this wax medium is a really great way to seal watercolors and really anything that, you know, is like water-based, because it doesn't have any water in it, and it won't move your paint or anything because it's wax. It's a wax-based product, but it also does have odorless mineral spirits and a little bit of resin in it. So I don't know, it's just really cool, and it gives a nice, like, kind of if you buff it, like it gives a nice kind of gloss to your pages too, or to your watercolor paintings or your gouache paintings. Anyway, so I did use a little bit of that wax medium to just play around with in blending in the pencil on this page, because this craft paper is pretty toothy, like it's pretty rough. So it's nice to use a blender on it. Anyway, so that's my little frog. I wasn't super happy with, I don't really have much separation between his body and his pants and the stump there, but it is what it is. Okay, so that's that. And then this book, Tales from the City Among the Stars, you can see my handprints all over it from handling all kinds of things. And all of the writing is starting to come off on this from this book. Like, it's all gone over here. Anyway, so this is my project book. I have a feeling I'm probably going to have this book finished in May, because I did, I think, 22 pages in this book in April. I just couldn't stop working on it. I don't know what it is, but I'm at that point now where I'm way past the halfway point, and I think I'm going to get it finished. I think I've got about 18, 19 pages left. So I'll show you what I did in April. So I did just the name plate, this book belongs to page, because I had some bleed through from this page, and I just wanted to do something on it. I think I was actually playing around with some gel crayons or something that I wound up giving to my grandson, but I think that's what I used on this background and on this star, were those gel crayons. But anyway, yeah. So, oh, and then I had also picked up some, or pulled out some gold leaf that I had. It's actually gold leaf that I bought for making cookies. So it's like edible. But I used it on here, and then I also got a jar of like the gold leaf flakes. So I'm good with gold leaf. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what I did on there, just playing around with it just to see how it works. And then let's see, that was March. And then this was February, but I did this page again, Neocolor 2s in the background. I think I did gouache on the clouds, and you know, gel pens, etc. I love those little fine tip gel pens for doing things like this, for the, you know, the little trees and the buildings. They're just great for little details. And then this double page, same thing. I went really heavy on, what did I use on here? I think I used watercolor on here. I think originally I did the Neocolor 2 and then went over it with watercolor. And then around the clouds, I used that white, you know, the Languo plus white gel pen. And yeah, a little bit of metallic watercolor here and there. I have a light not working. There we go. Might not be that much better, but I did wind up doing some pencil in the background over here because I wanted this one to be a little bit more nighttime. So anyway, so those lovely ladies. And then these are my orange people. My orange people among the stars. Yeah, this was really fun to do. I did again, it's the Neocolor 2s. And then their clothing and their hair, both of them, is done with my like homemade graphitint watercolors that I've done. yeah, so I have these that I did on video, and then this little collection of watercolors mixed with liquid graphite. So yeah, don't be too hard on me about my portraits, okay? I'm really just kind of trying to get past my resistance to doing people. So I don't think it's something that I'm going to want to do all the time, but I'm trying and I'm working on it. So it's really not my forte, but I'm trying. And then this guy is crazy. I did this background with the Mungio Pearl watercolor pastels, like water soluble oil pastels. And then I left the page for a long time, for a couple weeks, and wasn't sure what I was going to do with him. But yeah, so it's a little bit disjointed, I think, because I did them at such different times. But I'm kind of trying to keep the rainbow sort of theme going with all of the aircraft in this book. So I wanted to do his hair in rainbow, and then the little ribbons. And then I don't remember where. Oh, these are, this neon are those 3D jelly pens. That's what I used on his jacket, on his clothing. So yeah, I think I used that on some of this too. So, and then glaze pen. Or no, it was actually the black 3D jelly on the aircraft, the little Star Cruiser. So, but I like that page. It was fun. And then this one, actually, let me take these off. I really don't like having those on there. This one, my favorite thing about this page is the brickwork. I used Graphitint watercolor pencils on the brickwork, and then came back in with some light fast pencil and mostly watercolor Neo 2s, gel pens, pencils, you know the drill. I did use the glaze or the 3D jelly pens on the flowers. That was fun. But before I did that, I actually outlined all of the flowers using those Languo gel pens, the skinny ones. So anyway, yeah, so that one. And then the, what are they called? Pegacorns. I know there's a name for these. But, yeah, I did these horses. These were fun. And outlining all of the clouds, I used these gel pens, which I think I saw Connie, the coloring chemist, talking about these pens in her, like, a haul video or something. And I had already gotten these, but I was happy to see that she found them because they are really cool. And these actually are 1.2 millimeter nib or roller ball. So they're even a fatter roller ball than those, than the Plus pens. But, yeah, so I had bought all of these also and wound up with, I think there was like 6 or 7 sets of 9 colors, and about 40% of them are actually duplicates if you buy all of the sets. So I did a very, very careful swatching of all of them, and I wound up putting away, like I said, about 40% of them because they're duplicate colors among all of the sets. And they're all basically pastel colors. So, but they have that nice fat, you know, rollerball. So that's really nice. And so they work really well for doing things like outlining these clouds. So that's what I use to outline all the clouds. And yeah. So I was pretty happy with my horses. I'm working on this page, so don't look at that. But I did this page, a little wallpaper page. Just one night I was just wanted to do something, but I didn't want to do anything that required too much thought. So I just did this little wallpaper page, pan pastel in the background, and then just gel pens for the stars. And then I did don't laugh, okay? This lady is, this was my attempt at doing darker skin. I don't even remember what I based her skin with. I think it was just watercolor, honestly, and then went back in with pencil. But yeah, she's kind of scary looking, and I totally screwed up her mouth. So I just did gold leaf on her lips, and she just looks kind of futuristic. This is my Amazon lady. I don't know. I kind of like her though. I had fun working on it. Added some neon and all kinds of stuff in there. Definitely a mixed media page. And I did use the gold leaf on her freckles too. Oh, I used my my aqua bronze gold also on her, on this little star, and just little details on the page. And actually that aqua bronze gold, it's the pale gold color. It matches gold leaf really, really well, because I used it actually on the corners of her mouth, and you can't even see the difference. So anyway, let's move past this page. And then this page I did right at the beginning of April. And I got really frustrated with it because I did it originally, the background, with pan pastel. And something happened where, I don't know, something smudged on it really bad. And I was getting this ugly, like, grayness in the orange. And the orange, it was like orange, yellow, you know, kind of vibe, obviously. And I just got super frustrated with it. I would like spray fixative on it and then go over it again and fix it again and go over it again. And it just was not working. And I kept smudging stuff on this page. It was so frustrating. But anyway, I finally got it done. And I just used my glitter gel pens to color the moths. And then I glued all the stars on. Those are just stars from different collections of like confetti and stuff that I have. So yeah, in pinks and purples and teals. So there's that one. You guys have seen this guy. And then I'm working on this page. This one is done also with the aqua bronze, but this is the bronze color. And then I did the gold around the border. I don't remember what I used on these lanterns. Oh, yeah, it's just watercolor. It's just a gold watercolor. I listed it in my top 10 favorite gold, you know, paints or whatever. And it's the Yuli watercolor in the color Oscar. And it's a beautiful gold. I just really like it. Anyway, and the rest of it is actually metallic watercolor. And then I just went back and outlined stuff with a fine point Posca. Had a little smudge right there, but anyway, and yeah, so the background is all pan pastel, and I need to do this chick and her cat eventually. And then So this one was done in May. I just did this a few days ago, but this page was done in April. And I did want these pages to kind of live together peacefully. So I had a major accident right here. But anyway, so I tried to pull the colors that I used on this page over here. And what I used on this page for just about all the color on this page is the Supervision 48 tube set, the 48 color tube set. And I'm going to do a review on this set soon. I just wanted to use it on a page, and I might use it on another page and kind of talk about it while I'm doing that review, because it is actually a really cool set. And it's funny because they sent these to me to see if I wanted to do a review on them, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I will, because Lindsay, Frugal Crafter Lindsay, she showed these in her, like a video she did back in January as one of the products that she has, that she's planning to do reviews on, and ask people for, you know, what product should I do first. And this was one of the things that I was the most excited about. So, so I was super excited when they asked me if I wanted to try these out. So yeah, I'm going to do that review as soon as I can. I just had to get this video done before I move on to that. And I wanted to play with them. So I'll talk all about those when I do that review. But yeah, that's what I used on this page, and it's a really great set for, I think, for coloring books. And I'll talk about why when I do the review. But anyway, so don't look at this page. Look at this page. This is the page I did. This is Neocolor 2, though. Pretty much all of the color on this page is Neocolor 2. And then I did use metallic watercolors on like the leaves and the details on some of these poppies. And of course the ribbon. So, okay. And then I did this girl with her kite. I might come back and add some little details on these ribbons, but I don't know. I really, really had fun doing the background outside the frame of this. And this is all done with metallic watercolors. And a very small brush. And then I did her. I'm pretty sure I used... Oh, no, I was going to say it was the Supervision, but it wasn't. It was my Holbein watercolors on her and the kite. And then, you know, pencil details. So, yeah, that was fun. And I did spray a fixative on it. These were May, so don't look at those. And then I did this one in April. This double page. This one was super fun. I love doing scenes like this. And see the little rainbow coming out. If you remember, like, this guy. Where is he? Where's my guy? It's like my favorite page in this whole book. So this guy. So I'm imagining that's what that is. Anyway. So, yeah, again, Neocolor 2, watercolor. I don't remember what I used. I think I did. Oh, I used clean color, real brush markers on these houses and the trees and stuff. That's what it was. Yeah, but pretty much Neo 2 on everything in the background and the sky, the you know, the flowers. And then on the people, I've been using these paints. So, and some glittery gel pens. So anyway, last page is just this sort of banner page that I use also the Mungio water soluble oil pastels and metallic watercolor. And I think I also use some aqua bronze for like details, yeah, on the stars and on all of the little flags and the little lanterns. So yeah, that's my progress in City Among the Stars and all the other pages that I've done in April. So I think I'm going to be able to get this done in May. I'm going to try anyway. I mean, if I don't, I don't. It's not a big deal, but you know, just something. When I get a goal in my mind, like, it's really, I like having a goal like that, like some kind of a challenge, you know? It just, I don't know, it just helps keep me motivated and that kind of stuff. And, you know, I don't know if you guys, if anybody realizes this or cares to know, but, you know, I don't have a full-time job or anything, and I don't have any kids at home, and I don't have any other obligations, really. So if I want to just color my life away, then I can. Like, I'm allowed. And so I have a lot more time on my hands than I think a lot of people do to devote to coloring. And I also did some sewing this month. I made a cute little dress for my granddaughter. I'm not going to show it to you, but, you know, but it was one of those projects where I was like, okay, I wonder if I can make this reversible. Okay, I'll show you. Hold on a second. It's rustic, okay? But I think it's really cute at the same time. So it's made out of Cantha quilt fabric. And you might recognize the fabric from, you know, if you're familiar with, yeah, anyway, it's made with Cantha quilt fabric. And it's just a little sundress pattern that is supposed to have where there's supposed to be buttons right here. So these are originally, you know, they're two separate pieces, and then the back piece is supposed to come down like this and button right here. Well, I just like attached them together, cut off the circular part, stitched them together, and I didn't do any of the hemming, and I didn't turn any of the edges over. I just did like a really close zigzag stitch because I don't have a serger, so I did like a satin stitch around the armholes, the neck hole, around the pocket, and also around the bottom. And that was so that I could make it reversible. And so this is the other side. So anyway, yeah, and this is how I put together the sides. So you can see I did that satin stitch. So I stitched it together, and then I cut the seam pretty close, like maybe a quarter inch, maybe less than a quarter inch. And then I did satin stitch over. I ironed it flat, and then I did that satin stitch over each side so it would like seal in the raw edges, you know. Anyway, so she hasn't tried it on. I might take it over there to her tomorrow or something and see if she likes it, see if it fits her, you know. And if I need to make it, if anything, it's too big for her, so that's good. But if I need to make it a little smaller so she can wear it this year, I'll make a couple more. I just need to take it over there so she can try it on, and I know what to do moving forward. Anyway, but if it does fit her, then I'm going to make her a couple more for the summer, because these are really, I love this fabric. It's handmade, it's repurposed, it's you know, it's supporting women in India that actually hand stitch this fabric. And so yeah, Anyway, so I like it. Anyway, I might make a couple for myself too while I'm at it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. I love you. Welcome to my new subscribers. And thanks to all my current subscribers for coming over and checking out this new channel. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Okay. Bye for now.